Hi guys, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to another crafty video. So in today's video we are going to be creating a card for the little girl that I sponsored for Angels of God. So right now I'm just stamping out some of the images that we're going to need. So as I'm going through, I will walk you through what we are going to be using. So this right now is a stamp from Honeybee Stamps, and it is called Celebration Box, and there's a stamp and die set, and I actually did buy both the stamp and the coordinating die set because there is a box piece in there that cuts out the box and you can kind of make it like a 3D image. Let me see. Sorry guys, I think the lighting is a little bad. And just try to help you out. I think that's a little bit better. So we are just stamping out the tissue paper right now. I also stamped out earlier the cat from Meowie Wolfmas from Mama Elephant. So we are just going to, these pieces of tissue paper have coordinating dies with them, and we're going to be using them in a little bit. I got the background for this from a 4 1/4 by 6 1/2 paper pad from Recollections. This one is old. This is Holiday Traditions, and these are like real classic Christmas colors, that green and red, like that vintage feel of the green, red, and the kind of like the tan. And then I also got the box. We're going to be using some double-sided cardstock from Recollections. This is Sugar Plums. We're going to be using this piece right here, the green, and it's actually not as green as this, not like as true green. Let me see if I can find the paper. It's over here. This is more in line with the colors of the vintage one, and there are little flat pieces that we're actually going to be using the coordinating side from. So actually pretty cool that it's double-sided paper, so we can use that. And then we are going to color in the cat that's here, cut it out with the coordinating, let's see, cat that's here, cut it out with the coordinating die set from Mama Elephant. So I'm just going to go through right now, and we are going to do a red and a green pack of tissue paper. So I'm going to try to go through and just find more of like orangish reds, I think, and then for the green we're going to do a little bit more of a classic green. Let's see, that's like a little bit darker. We might use the YGs, and I probably should have done this before, maybe like this. I probably should have done this a little bit earlier, but I just wanted something that would, you know, kind of just go with the feeling of the cardstock that I already chose. So the last thing I have to do is pick the color for the cat, and I think that we're gonna do, this has a little bit of browns and yellowish tones to it, so we may do like a little bit of a brownish red cat, maybe something like this. So right now I have R27, 29, and 46, and I have YG 17, 45, and 67. I don't know how those colors are going to blend together. I've never used them before together. And I have E 97 and 99. So we're going to see how these come out. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start to color. So let me clear off my chair, pull that up, and I will talk you through this. Now, I'm definitely not great at Copic coloring. I just kind of do what I think would look right. Doesn't necessarily mean that it is right. So you're just kind of going to see a little bit of my process. We're going to just kind of just do whatever kind of feels right and looks natural. You know, it's definitely a whatever looks good to you kind of process. I really don't have a game plan in mind when I start to color with my Copics. And that was the 17, and then this is the 67. This is the darkest one. So I like to sometimes go over some of the things like where the creases would be, some of the darkest places. But again, I'm not really good at all that shadow thing. When I was in talented art in middle school, That was one of the things that I was like the worst at, was trying to figure out where shadows were. I just liked to color. I really didn't like people telling me what to do and where to, you know, like where to shade and how to shade. I just kind of liked doing it on my own and just kind of like doing what looked right to me. So it probably won't look right to you, and this is why you probably shouldn't follow my Copic coloring, but I just thought that I would leave it in here just to show you guys that I kind of don't do anything really special. I kind of picked one of the, like the medium, this is the medium tone, I think, and just kind of gone in and just did some highs and lows and, you know, just did whatever kind of looked right to me. So I'm going to try to do this a little bit fast, that way that we can get through this and you guys don't have to sit through this. I don't want to do a lot of blending, just kind of going to. Okay, I think we're probably only going to do 2 pieces of this, so let's move on to the red. And like I said, it's 27, 29, and 46. 46 is like the darkest color. I think 27 is the lightest. See, for me, it's hard to tell what the lightest shades are. I don't have a color chart. I really should get one. I really should do one. I just never, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't ever just make one. But like I said, I never did. So, and I know there are a ton of them out there, and you know, it's really easy to do. I'm actually working on collecting my Copics, so I'm pretty far into the collection. I have a couple that have dried out that I either have to find refills for or replace the markers. So this is kind of like an orangey red style. And this did bleed a little bit. Not too concerned about it, but reds feel like, at least with me, I feel like reds generally do. So you probably should, like for me, I probably should have left this dry for a little bit longer. Probably should have started working on the other piece, but it is what it is. So there is the red and the green tissue paper. Let's see. Oh, is that lighting terrible? Sorry guys, I don't... let me just go in one more time with the lightest color and 7. Yeah, just kind of see if I can blend this out a little bit better. Okay, so there, that. All right, now we want to get to working on the cat. And again, ooh, I need to clean these markers. Look at that. We're going to use this 97. This is kind of like an orangish brown, which kind of goes with that. I might give him like a little white around his eye. Let's see how that looks. Just to give it a little bit of texture. It just looks like I forgot to color around the eye. Never mind. Alright. Maybe we'll give him some stripes with the darker color. Just color in the ears. Again, this card is for a child, and you know, the shading obviously doesn't have to be great, and you can kind of practice your shading, your stripes, you're adding your texture. And this is just kind of how I do it. If I wasn't on camera, I probably would be a little bit more going back and blending a little bit more and seeing if I can, you know, what other textures I can do. But I just kind of want to get this done. I not just rush through it and get it done, but I do have to get these presents over to the Angels of God so that they can get them delivered before Christmas to families in need. I love doing that every year. I started off with one child the first year, and then I decided that I would do 2. I honestly, like, my mom asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I really didn't know. I actually really, and truly, and I'm not just saying this, I really truly love shopping for presents for people more than I actually do getting them. I mean, it is great to get presents. It's, you know, and I love when my nieces get me stuff and they're just so cute. But, you know, I actually love the act of, you know, giving somebody a present rather than, you know, just being, like, you know, just getting presents myself. I love to watch the kids open their presents and stuff like that. So, all right. There's a tiny piece in here. This is the die set for the Merry Wolfmas, and I believe this is the cat one. Yep. So it already has washi tape on it, so we are just going to I'm just going to place the washi tape around it a little bit better, just to make sure that it's cutting out correctly. Probably get a new piece of washi tape. This washi tape is probably so old. Okay. I'm going to cut that piece out, and then I'm going to put these away so that I don't lose them. And then we are going to take the die from the tissue paper, and we are going to put this through. I'm going to grab some washi tape. And this is generally what I do. If you guys have never used, I'm sure that you guys have used washi tape before to cut things out. But I normally just run the washi tape. That washi tape was used. But new washi tape, I generally just run it over my arm to take off some of the stickiness of it. I know some people use like purple tape or frog tape or things like that. I just happen to have so much washi tape lying around that it's just so much easier to use washi tape. Now, sometimes this will stick directly to the image and kind of presses it down. I try not to put stuff over the image, but it doesn't always work that way. So this is going to be, this is the Genius platform. I believe it was for like a silhouette machine, and you have to face the dies up. So these are the extended cutting plates, and then I just have a Cut-A-Bug over here, which you probably can sort of see. So we're just going to run that through real quick, and then we're going to do the same thing for the box so that we can create the box and the flaps. So my desk is a huge mess right now. I have been creating like crazy with Christmas cards and things like that, so I'm not great with putting things away after I've used them. So my desk is a ginormous mess right now. Okay, so there is the first thing of tissue paper, and then we're gonna pop this little guy out. Look at how cute, the little kitty cat. And hopefully that kind of goes with the background. See, this is what I was saying, like the washi tape kind of gets stuck down to the paper. You just have to carefully peel it back on itself, and it will come off without hopefully tearing the paper. And that's why a lot of times you want to, oh, see, that one is going to tear the paper, and a little piece is stuck in the cap, but you can probably just use your finger and roll it off. So I'll do that later on. I'll get rid of that. Okay, so now we are going to use the washi tape again and put this piece down and cut out the red tissue paper. And then we are also going to, since now there's a lot of room on here, we are going to use the die to cut out the box. So let's put the die over here, face up, and then this is a 6x6 paper pad. So we're just going to place it here, and let's roll this through. And then we're also going to cut out the the other side with the boxes, the flaps of the box. So I'll show you what I mean in 1 second. Because the dies have to be up, I had to cut them at different times, unless I had cut a piece already. So okay, so here is the absolutely adorable box. There's one more thing that we're gonna do to this before we. Let's just put this to the side. All right, so now I need the small flaps. These are the flaps, and since you want them on this side of the paper, now we're gonna have to turn it over and run this through. Actually, let's put them on this side, and you're gonna wanna run them through the Cuttlebug again so that they cut out with the right side of the coordinating paper. So one more time through the Cuttlebug, and then we are going to do one thing of a score line on this box because there's no score line on the actual die itself. So the edge of the box, like the front pieces where they meet, they are not, there's no delineation of that. So, okay, so here are the box pieces. So let's see if, they even look, hoping they look cute. So it looks like double-sided Christmas wrapping paper. Isn't that so cute? So we're gonna put these to the side. We're going to get the tissue paper out of this. Let's just take this washi tape off pretty quickly. Put this down to the side. Just remember to put all of your dies away because I generally forget and I will lose my dies. So here is the cardstock, and we are just going to, I was thinking about putting a piece of green backing to it. Let me just see real quick. Let me just grab a piece of green cardstock and see if that would look. I kind of like that. It kind of ties it all together. So what we're going to do is I have my paper trimmer here. Now it is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to do 4 1/8. And then I just go to 5 1/4 and then move it halfway between the 5 1/4 and 5 1/2. Whatever that measurement is. I'm really not good with measurements, guys. I really am not. So it's an 1/8 of an inch larger than 5 1/4. So 5 3/8. Does that sound right? So now we're gonna put some ATG on the back of this cardstock. The other thing that you can do if you would like, I think I'm going to actually do this. I have this ink blending tool. This is like a dark green. I'm just going to go around the edges because there's white. So I just tend to go around the edges. And this is probably from pine needles. So this is only going to give you a really, really small border around the edges, but it's going to make things stand out just a little bit. And I tend to line it up on, line it up on about 3 sides and then press it down. So here's the base piece, or the front piece of the cardstock. We're going to mount it on here. Yeah, that looks so much nicer with that green around there. So the next thing that we're going to do is find my scoreboard. Sorry guys, like I said, stuff is all over the place. And then we are going to take, where is my bone folder is in here. We're going to take this. I'm just kind of going to line it up and just score on the back so that you kind of see that line there. See, and it runs from here to here. Can you guys see that? Does that look right? So now it looks like the box in the stamp set. Let me see if there's the stamp set. What did I do with this? So see how the stamp has the line here? The die does not. So it just kind of gives you a little bit. And then we're going to take that same green distress ink and run around the corners. And I'm going to kind of fold this and do that too. I'm going to give it a little bit more. There you go. Now you can really see that score line. Gives it a little bit of depth and dimension. And then probably what you want to do, so these ones, these tabs fold in. There's a little score line on there. So what they're going to do is kind of hang over. So you're going to be able to glue them inside here to do the tabs like that. So what I'm going to do, and this is Distress Oxide this is in Barn Door, and we're just going to go around the edges just a little bit. I just like doing this little finishing touch because it just gives it that, like I said, just a little finishing touch. Again, there's a little score line. You can actually score it if you want on the scoreboard. I just find it easier to push it down. It's not difficult. If you have a thicker paper, you might want to score it first, but this isn't that thick. Okay, so I'm going to take my Zig 2-way glue pen, and then here, this is attached in the middle, and we're going to just do this, and we're just going to glue. I'm going to flatten this out, and we're just going to take the Zig 2-way glue pen and just put some glue around the edges. This is a really, really easy die to assemble. It looks so cute. This kind of just looks like, again, like there's coordinating paper on the inside, and this would just be like, you know, when you wrap things with two-sided paper. So cute. It also gives it a little bit of delineation between the box sides and the, you know, the flaps. So if you were doing this in a solid color cardstock, you could do it in a light and a darker tone, and that way you'd be able to tell. You can also kind of create a box out of this too if you'd like to. It's so cute. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the little, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I'm trying to figure out how it would look. Kind of just hanging out like this. There we go. We'll just let the cat hang out here. So the first thing I want to do is place the tissue paper where I think it needs to go. Line it up like that, and then let the cat hang out of the box like that. And then actually what I might do is I might pop the cat up. So let's get all of this stuff on the cardstock. And again, guys, I know this is a long video, the process video. I like to leave everything in there so you guys can see my thought process or lack of thought process, and you know how I go through about making a card in around 30 minutes. It usually takes me, as long as I've already done the prep work, it usually takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to do a card, depending on the intricacies of it and then what goes wrong as I'm going through the process. So now what I want to do is, you can see on the back there's the flaps glued in there, so I just want to reinforce those, and then, but I don't want to glue them down, so I just want to avoid that area when I'm putting glue on there. You can glue on the top here, but just not, don't glue this little flap shut. So I'm just going to put the box kind of like right in the middle, and that score line with using that Distress ink actually makes it look so much better. Like you can actually see the line down it, and it looks like an actual box. So I'm just going to put some tissue paper down here. I think I did the green on the other side before, but it doesn't matter. Just kind of want to cover the box with tissue paper. This might be cool where if you have a die that does mirroring, or a stamp that does mirroring, you could actually mirror this in there. Mirror the image and then do back-to-back pieces of tissue paper so that the tissue paper would be facing in opposite directions. I'm trying to see, what did I do with my scissors? I don't know where they are. See, I'm telling you, I tend to lose all things that I place around here. So we'll just kind of, let's just use a full circle and pop this guy up. But I don't want his paws popped up. I want his body popped up, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. So he's like hanging off. Here, I'm gonna do it. So there you go. There, let's see. There is the card. And that's it. I'll just put her name on using the dies on the front of the card and kind of just finish it up. That finishes the card up. I'll probably maybe put a little bit of Wink Stella pen on the cat's hat, or just maybe do some, not glossy accents, but maybe the Nouveau drops on there, do something like that. But that's the card for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. And I hope this gave you an idea of how to mix and match stamps, and also to think a little bit outside of the box and put things together that maybe aren't in the same stamp set, because that's one of the biggest things I think people tend to do, is just use the stamp sets that were made to go together, but they don't use other products. So this gives your products a little bit longer of a lifespan, because you can use it with other products from other companies. It doesn't have to be within the same company. So I used Honeybee stamps and as well as Mama Elephant stamps to create this card. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again real soon in the next video. Bye!